Hi everyone, Simon here. Second episode. Tim found himself in one of these sort of go-go bars, I believe just north of LA, in the States. He sat down, there's a girl, a Thai girl, a dancer, she sat down and he bought her a drink and started chatting. This girl's about 22, 23 years old. She's already been working in the States for 4 or 5 years. They get chatting, and this girl, very, very astute. And Tim tells her a bit of his life story. She picks up all the signals. And this girl's name is Gin, as in the drink, Gin. And she says to Tim that she's had enough working in America. I mean, what she means is she's earned enough money. She's had enough work in America. She wants to go back to Thailand and she wants to open her own bar. A beer bar. So not a dancing bar, go with all the poles and all the sexy girls. A beer bar, simple little bar with maybe a few girls working there. And she says, Pattaya. At this point, Tim's, I've actually been there. I've been to Pattaya. Now, to me, alarm bells are ringing. He's just, opening up himself up here. But this girl, Jin, seems quite forward with his ideas. He's mentioned he's been to Pattaya. She knows he's at a loose end. But he's quite sensible, and he's sort of, okay, well, it sounds great, but this is the wrong sort of place for us to get to know each other and chat. Can we see each other out of this environment, which was a great thing to do. And he tells her, I only have a trailer, a mobile home in Detroit, and got my motorbike, and I've been wandering around for a little bit. And he says, I'm probably going to head back to my trailer and have a think about life. Now, Jin seems quite a little professional. She's a shortish girl, quite professional, very clever girl, and says to him, give me your address. I've still got a contract here. I can't finish for another few more months. And I'll contact you. And here's my address. And he leaves the bar, just a chance meeting. And he wanders around for another month, around California, works way up to San Francisco, and then heads back off home. He's had enough travelling. Back to Detroit. And over the following couple of months, cleans his mobile home up, his trailer, and doesn't really work. He's just eating, sleeping, a little bit of drinking, but nothing excessive. He's still thinking about the future. A few months pass, and out of the blue, not a phone call, Jin, this Thai girl, comes wandering down his little bit of a lane. She'd just got out of a taxi, rucksack on her back, and knocks on the door. He opens the door, totally surprised. She's like, hi, hang on. She goes and pays the taxi, says, right place, goodbye. Turns up, he's only spoken to this girl in the bar in America, briefly. And she comes through the door as if like this is her home. He was totally surprised. They spend 4-5 weeks together and become, very quickly, boyfriend and girlfriend. Very quickly. Is this calculated by Jin? She's mentioned that she's earned enough money and wants to go and open a bar. He has, I don't believe he mentioned the amount of money he had in the bank from his accident, but he did mention that he'd had a payoff. So she's probably put 2 and 2 together, looking at the injury on the hand. But they spend weeks together, everything's going great. At this point, Tim, he's about, 29, coming up for 30. And Jin says to him, I'm going back to Thailand now and I'm going to go and look at bars. And do you want to come? Do you want to come on the adventure? Can we do it together? What are you thinking? Wrong. Tim actually says, no, I don't know enough about Thailand. I would like to go back there, but I'm not ready to leave America and start that new adventure yet. Very wise, very wise. Jim was a bit cheesed off with this. She thought she'd maybe hook someone that's going to help her with the business. But she's a clever girl. So, okay, well, I'm going to Thailand and I'll call you. I'll get in touch with you. The internet was about in the 90s, but nothing like it is today. So telephone was used a lot more. And emails were starting to come in, creep in. You know, towards the late 90s, everyone was using emails. She said her goodbye, and moving on a little bit, she's flown off and gone to Thailand. Now, Tim's friend who had the restaurants gave Tim a job, and they're getting quite busy as restaurants. It was a cashier, doing the money and the tills and helping out. So Tim took that job. Sort of set in his ways. He just loves his Detroit area. Still no girlfriends in America. He's still a little bit overweight, big thick glasses, no hair. It just didn't attract girls. He was quite, on his own, living on his own, okay with that, comfortable. No phone calls from Jin. A year passes, 2 years pass. He just carries on living in his trailer, and years start rolling. So we bring Tim forward up to he's 37 years old, and we're in 1999. It's that big year, the millennium, switch over to the year 2000, lots of parties, all the rumours about the internet's going to crash. He celebrates the millennium with his friends in Detroit. Straight after, within days of that, he gets a phone call. He's now 37, 38 years old. And it's been 10 years. Jin is 34 now, about 34. She rings him out of the blue. How are you? Gobsmacked. She says, I'm still in Thailand. I had a bar, but it's not quite worked out. But I'm looking at a new venture, and I miss you. Now, after 10 years working in this diner, 37 years old, something just clicked in Tim's head. He's got money still in the bank, over $100,000. He's looked after it. He's still no girlfriend. He was caught in a rut, and he's still very young at 37. He suddenly thinks, it's time. Nothing's happened in America for me. Nothing's happened in Detroit. I'm stuck in a rut again. A beautiful girl on the other side of the world wants to be my girlfriend. And he says to his friends, he says to Jin, okay, I'm going to come and see you. Where are you? She says, Pattaya. He said, give me a few weeks and I'll be in touch. It takes him a few weeks. He sells his trailer. There's a bit of land there. He gets about $20,000 for his trailer and the land. I mean, it's a reasonable trailer, but a bit old. Sells his bike, sells everything. Gives his job up, puts his money in the bank. So here we are. How many times have we been here? Regardless of his age, a gentleman leaving the country, going to live, retire in Thailand. Visas were a pain back then. However, in those days you could get a visa for a month and then you could just go out of the country, or you could get a month extension, go out of the country, get a new month, and so on and so on. And setting in bars and things, I'll tell you on the next episode about that. He sold everything. Phone call to Jin, I'm coming. Is she the one? She is the one? Could she be the one? Whew. How many times have I heard that? Sold everything. Got on a plane. We'll leave it there. I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.